Hello, fellow Facebookers. Alright, the fact is, I got a new MacBook Pro, and, I love it, especially the camera. It's actually my favorite part, so I wanted to make a video, because I like to hear the sound of my own voice and watch myself. Who doesn't? There is a purpose to this video. One that I think is a serious topic of our time, the Twilight Saga. Now, I know what most of you are thinking. Oh, the Twilight Saga, it sucks, blah blah blah. It's about vampires that twinkle and blah blah. Well, you know what? I completely disagree. I think Twilight is one of the greatest literary works of our time. I just don't understand how people can't see that. I mean, are people just uneducated? They just don't know what good writing is? They don't read? Are they illiterate? I don't know anymore. The purpose of this video is that I'm going to read a few excerpts of some of the Twilight Saga to you, to kind of prove to you that it is great literary work, and that Stephenie Meyer is one of the greatest writers of the century. I mean, yeah, the century. I'm just going to read a few excerpts. I'm not going to argue that much that it's good, because you'll just know it's good when you hear it. So, I'd also like to note that I might get a little teary-eyed through some of it. You know, that just happens when you read Twilight. I might have to go off screen for a couple minutes. Don't mind it. Just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'd also like to note that the best way to really appreciate Twilight is through oral reading. Because, you know, it kind of portrays the dramatic effect and emotion that Stephenie Meyer was really going for and wanted her readers to feel. So I'm going to do my best to read this dramatically. I knew that the scent of my blood, so much sweeter to him than any other person's blood, truly like wine beside water to an alcoholic, caused him actual pain from the burning thirst it engendered. But he didn't seem to shy away from it as much as he once had. I could only dimly imagine the Herculean effort behind this simple gesture. It made me sad that he had to try so hard. I comforted myself with the knowledge that I wouldn't be causing him pain much longer. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna cry. It's the first one. Okay. Had to blink back my tears there. Obviously, Bella is just going through so much inner turmoil, and I just can't even imagine the pain she must be going through being in love with someone who wants to kill her all the time. I can't even imagine what I would do in that situation. These are characters that you can really relate to. And, you know, these days you don't really see a lot of that, so here's the next one. Edward's patience was endless. He waited politely through the whole conversation, just playing with my hair and smiling whenever I looked up. It was probably superficial to notice such things while I had so many more important things to think about, but his smile still knocked the breath out of me. He was so beautiful that it made it hard sometimes to think about anything else. Hard to concentrate on Phil's troubles, or Renee's apologies, or hostile vampire armies. I was only human. I mean, this is, like I said, literary genius. Especially that last line, I was only human. That's an irony that most people could not even come up with in their lifetime. It takes a lot of creative genius to come up with something like that. So, I have one more passage, and it's actually one of my favorites, and I'll explain why after I'm done. I wrenched the door out of my way, ridiculously eager, and there he was, my personal miracle. Time had not made me immune to the perfection of his face, and I was sure that I would never take any aspect of him for granted. My eyes traced over his pale white features, the hard square of his jaw, the softer curve of his full lips, twisted up into a smile now, The straight line of his nose, the sharp angle of his cheekbones, the smooth marble span of his forehead, partially obscured by a tangle of rain-darkened bronze hair. I saved his eyes for last, knowing that when I looked into them I was likely to lose my train of thought. They were wide, warm with liquid gold, and framed by a thick fringe of black lashes. Staring into his eyes always made me feel extraordinary, sort of like my bones were turning spongy. I was also a little lightheaded, but that could have been because I had forgotten to keep breathing. Again. It was a face any male model in the world would trade his soul for. Of course, that might be exactly the asking price. 1 soul. One of my favorite passages ever in literature. Hopefully you can see why. I mean, the descriptive detail she puts into Edward's appearance is just incredible. I mean, that's like 3/4 of a page right there of just Edward. I feel like he's like standing in front of me. You know, how she talks about how she like can't breathe when she even looks at him. And especially, you know, the soft curve of his lips and his rain-darkened bronze hair. I mean, it's not like a 3-year-old can come up with this. Okay, this is literary genius. Anyways, I'm done. I can go on forever about this. But hopefully, some of you can appreciate Twilight now. And, especially after those amazing excerpts, and if you can't, well, you should probably just go kill yourself now. Alright, that's my spiel for tonight. Who knows if I'll post anything else, but yeah, let me know what you think.